Now, the Prime Minister has been holding talks with other political parties to try to break the current deadlock over Brexit after her withdrawal agreement was rejected decisively by MPs earlier this week. But Labour's Jeremy Corbyn called the talks a stunt, and he says he will not take part unless a no-deal Brexit is ruled out. The Prime Minister will publish a new plan on Monday with a full debate and key vote scheduled for Tuesday, the 29th of January. Our political editor, Laura Kuensberg, has the latest.
There is reason to rush. We're meant to leave the European Union after more than 40 years in 71 days' time.
Good morning, everybody. How are you?
But our politicians still can't agree on exactly how.
I'm just here to try and help a bit.
It's taken rather a long time, you might think, for ministers to call for help.
Sadly, this is happening 2.5 years too late. I wish she'd reached out across the House much earlier on.
There is a deal, remember, crafted in Brussels and Whitehall. But MPs rejected it overwhelmingly on Tuesday night. So today, an all-day charm offensive behind Whitehall's closed doors to try to lure allies and enemies on board. Brexiteers who fear the deal's a trap seem to emerge reassured.
Had a very constructive meeting. The tone was very positive, and I'm very glad the Prime Minister was gracious enough to give us time.
Swathes of MPs demand that Downing Street tries to unpick the backstop, the insurance policy against a hard border in Ireland that's part of the agreement. A move is vital for the Northern Irish MPs who support Number 10 needs.
We are optimistic. We want to see a withdrawal agreement that works for the whole of the United Kingdom, one that works for the European Union, and the way to do that is to deal with the backstop. The scale of the defeat on Tuesday night, I think, allows the Prime Minister to take a very clear message to the European Union around that issue.
But like anything demanded in the Prime Minister's study or in Whitehall rooms round the corner, that is a lot easier said than done. Nor straightforward to do what others are urging in talks with Theresa May's number 2.
Well, we met with David Lidington and colleagues. We made it very clear that the government has to rule out no deal. That is the first step that they have to take. And secondly, the Prime Minister needs to change her red lines.
But if they rule out no deal, then doesn't the UK lose all its bargaining power in the rest of the negotiations?
I think the damage that no deal would do would be so huge to our manufacturing industry, but also to our policing and security. It's really important that we will keep urging her to do so.
Did they suggest any compromises, any new ideas?
No.
Ruling out leaving the EU without a deal would cause a frenzy. The government would have to change the law. This is an urgent situation, but no one round here can be sure how to find a way out. This is far from an ordinary day in Whitehall. The Prime Minister and her team are meeting an encyclopedia of MPs with multiple different ideas for Brexit. But if she truly hopes to get something everyone in Parliament can sign up to, there's someone rather important who's just not here. Despite now repeated invitations from the Prime Minister, Jeremy Corbyn is refusing to talk unless she makes that big move.
A no-deal Brexit is actually the most dangerous and very damaging thing to our country and our society. So I say to the Prime Minister again, she may even be listening, Prime Minister, simply do this. Take it off the table.
Some Labour MPs believe refusing to talk now is deeply wrong. And those on the guest list today have told me the government and their opponents both need a way to save face.
The Prime Minister has been having plenty of meetings with people from across the political spectrum today, following her genuine offer to all MPs and all political party leaders in the Commons to come and have conversations with her to see if we can get to a point for a negotiated deal that delivers on the referendum.
But another day ends here with no solution, when there are few left to spare. Laura Kuensberg, BBC News, Westminster.
Jeremy Corbyn.
Jeremy Corbyn was also only sharing his views with the Prime Minister from a stage today. In Hastings to make a speech, he ruled out meeting Theresa May unless she rules out no deal. But with the public impatient, shouldn't politicians just simply get on with it?
As leader of Her Majesty's opposition, surely at a time of national crisis, if the Prime Minister says, come and talk to me, you go and at least hear what she has to say? Or is the risk that you end up Or is the risk that you end up with her looking reasonable and you being portrayed as a wrecker?
The process of the last month has been one of threatening people by saying, well, if you don't vote for this deal, then it's no deal, and it's going to be the crisis of no deal.
The Prime Minister replied to Jeremy Corbyn today in a letter, saying, I note that you have said that ruling out no deal is a precondition before we can meet, but that is an impossible condition because it is not within the government's power to rule out no deal.
And our political editor, Robert Peston, is here. Robert, it doesn't look like Mrs May or Jeremy Corbyn looking to budge at all in this. So it begs the question, how does one get out of this deadlock?
Well, look, plainly, the Prime Minister has to sound out parliamentary opinion. She wants a Brexit. Her deal lost by a staggering 230 votes. So she has got to shift at least 115 votes to get any deal passed. But I have to tell you, Raggy, that in my view, quite a lot of what's going on at the moment in terms of these talks is pointless. Pretty much all the senior parliamentarians and party leaders who have agreed to see her, you've just mentioned Jeremy Corbyn won't, but they... Actually, those parliamentarians and party leaders agree with Jeremy Corbyn that she should rule out a no-deal Brexit as a condition of them making progress. Prime Minister said in her letter to Jeremy Corbyn she won't do that. They all also say that she should at least consider what Gordon Brown was just talking about, the former Prime Minister, that she should delay the moment of leaving to give the Parliament, all of us, more time to think about what kind of Brexit she wants. Again, she is saying categorically no. But let's just look for a second at the heart of what might get the deal through. If you talk to the DUP and the Brexiters, they say, for them, she's got to dump the backstop. This is this arrangement which they say would put a wedge between Northern Ireland and Great Britain as one price of them voting for the deal. So that's Brexiters and DUP saying it's got to be dumped. If you look at lots of moderate MPs, they say they want permanent membership of the customs union. What does the backstop include? It includes permanent membership of the customs union, or long-term membership of the customs union. So the point I'm making is, to please one set of MPs, she alienates another. And therefore tonight, I'm afraid I am as pessimistic as ever on her behalf that she can get any deal through this Parliament.
That's quite an assessment. Robert, thank you very much indeed.